Hi, I'm Rachel Donegan. I am the Howe Library's Emerging Technologies Librarian, and I am here to show you how to make something every week. This is Howe Makers. Hello, and welcome back. Today we are looking at Scratch. If you've never used Scratch before, we are going to start from the absolute beginning. Just go to scratch.mit.edu to get started. I'll give you a bit of an introduction to this workspace and how you can get started, and we will do a simple story type project to get started. So we're going to start off just with a quick orientation of how this workspace works and what you can do in Scratch. We're going to start off down here where this little cat face icon is. This is how you choose a sprite. So this is Scratch the cat, who is the sprite that is sort of the mascot of Scratch. And I'm just going to delete him. There's a little trash can right here. You can just get rid of him and start with a new story altogether. So to choose a sprite, you just select that icon there. And you can choose from a whole bunch of different sprites. You can scroll down, all sorts of props and letters and characters. We'll come back to that in a little bit. Here you can choose a backdrop. And you can choose more than one backdrop. So your character can actually move from one sort of scene to another scene. And we'll look at that in a little bit as well. Over here is all your coding blocks. So what you'll do is you'll take these blocks and drag them into this workspace here. And you can quickly move among the blocks here, the different kinds of blocks, or you can just scroll through all of them. And here we can sort of edit and change our backdrops if we would like. And here are sounds. And just like sprites, you can go down here and you can choose a sound. And there are lots of different sounds to choose from. And you can even record your own sounds here. So the possibilities are really endless for making stories and different interactive games, which is why Scratch is so popular. We're going to go back to code. And we're going to start off, I'm actually going to name my project right away. I'm just going to call it Bears. I have an idea for a story using some bears. So we're going to do a quick project that will just get you started with choosing sprites, choosing backgrounds, having sprites move around a little bit, and have a conversation and changing backdrops. So we're going to start off by choosing a sprite. And I'm going to actually choose two bears. And I'm going to change. So as you can see, you can switch between these two sprites. And you want to make sure if you are coding that you have picked the right, the correct sprite, because everything you do as far as coding in the middle will happen to this sprite that's highlighted. So just make sure that you've got the right one. I'm actually going to change the size of this one. This one here is the small one, so I can keep them apart. And I can change the order too. So the small one, the big one is my first one, and then the small one is the second one. Okay, so now I have some characters to work with, and I'm going to go in here and choose a backdrop. Kind of like this one because it's really simple. I can just click and drag these guys around. All right, so we have our bears and we have our backdrop, and now we just need to write some code so that our bears do something. And I'm going to do a short little story where one bear sees something good to eat and tells the other bear about it, and then the other bear responds. So really quick, simple project here. We do have to choose an events block. And I'm going to choose when the space key is pressed. I can also change this to some other key, but I am happy with the space bar. And also I should mention that if this sprite is highlighted here, this is actually the little one that we're on right now. I actually want the big bear to speak first. So you can see when I click on it, it sort of highlights which sprite I'm coding for. That's important. So I'm going to pull this space key out. And I'm going to choose the costume A which is the costume that they're in right now. Actually, I just want to make sure that it defaults, the beginning of the story defaults to this costume where the bear's on all four legs. And then it's going to say something. Hi there, little bear, for maybe 3 seconds. And then I want the bear to switch costumes after that to the bear B. And you'll see what's going to happen. He's going to stand up. So he's going to see something good to eat. And switch costume to bear B. And then and you can see each of these blocks sort of click together. I see something good to eat over there. And what I can do to see how I'm doing is I can either click on this yellow bar up here to sort of run the whole script, or I can just hit the space key. So I'm just going to preview it by clicking on this block of script here. All right, and that's it. So those blocks of code caused that to happen. I'm going to switch the costume back to A so that the bear sits back down again. Let's see. Excellent. All right, so now I'm going to switch over to this bear right here, and I already have my space key, and I'm going to have this bear wait for a little while because the first bear has to do its part there. So I'm going to say 7 seconds. That's sort of a guess. We can always change it if it's not quite right. And this bear is going to wait to listen to the bigger bear, and then it is going to make sure this bear is costume A, wait 7 seconds, and then it's going to look. It's going to stand up and see what it is that the big bear is looking at. And then it's going to say, oops, let's go check it out. 3 seconds. All right, let's see how this works. So we're waiting for 7 seconds for the little bear. And the bear stands up and says, let's go check it out. So, and then we're going to have it go back to costume A. So I should mention costumes are over here in this tab here. So this is where you can see, this is A, you can see he's on all four legs, and B is standing up. You can also change things about the costume, like you could change the color of his head right here by going in here and choosing a different color. You can flip horizontal, like if they're facing the wrong direction. It's kind of nice to be able to do that because then they can look like they're talking to the right character. And you can also add things, and you can add text. So you could put a little name tag on this bear if you wanted to. You could even give them like a little shirt. So if you choose just the body of the bear, you can go in here like that, and then the bear is wearing a little shirt. And this is the undo button here too, which is nice to know. If you don't like something, you can hit undo and or redo if you make a mistake. So let's go back to code. So we can look at our two different sets of code. They're pretty similar because each bear is just saying something to the other bear. But if we hit the space bar, we should see the entire script go from the very beginning. So let's see what happens when we hit the space bar. Excellent. Okay, so that worked. So now I could actually switch the backdrop if I wanted to. So I don't know what backdrops I have in here right now. Where would the bears find something good to eat? Maybe in the forest. So now I can have I can switch the backdrop to the forest. I realized I did. I have to start off with the backdrop being the blue sky. There we go, let's try that. Okay, now we start with the blue sky. There we go. So now they're in the forest where presumably they found something good to eat. So we could actually go in here to the sprites, and there are things to eat in here. So we could have them find maybe a bowl, maybe there's something in the bowl. Maybe they're going to eat some cheesy puffs. So you can see how you can build a story. We only just got started here, but already we have something happening and we have 2 scenes. So I'm pretty happy with that. Enjoy playing around with Scratch. Join the community and look at other people's projects. It's a great way to learn what to do. You can follow me. I'm Fluffy Unicorn 1974. You can see my projects. You can actually look at this project and remix it. You can change the sprites. You can change the backdrops. You can add on to this story if you like. You can leave me a comment. And the community encourages everyone to be very polite and leave very nice comments and helpful hints and tips and things like that. So enjoy, and I'll see you next time. Bye.